We're about to talk about something that can quietly build your business or, well, publicly destroy it. I'm talking about user data privacy. And make no mistake, getting this wrong isn't just some IT headache. We're talking about a full-blown existential threat.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll get real about what happens when that trust is broken. Then we'll take a hard look at the data you're actually collecting. From there, we'll figure out your risk profile, build a solid framework for who's in charge, and then get to the good stuff, a practical playbook you can start using right away. We'll wrap it all up by looking at the big picture.
All right, let's dive right into Section 1, when trust is broken. To really get why this stuff is so incredibly important, you've got to see what happens when it all falls apart.
So, what is the true cost of a data breach? Seriously, this is a question every single leader should be asking themselves, because the answer, it's not just a dollar figure on a spreadsheet, not even close. It's more like a shockwave that rattles every single part of your organization.
Just look at this. This isn't just a list of bad things. It's a chain reaction. The financial hit, the massive fines and the cost to clean up the mess, that's just the first domino to fall. Then boom, the legal battles start. Boom, your reputation is in the gutter. And while all that's going on, your actual operations can grind to a halt. We're talking product launches delayed, everything frozen for months, maybe even years.
And this really says it all, doesn't it? The real damage here, the thing that's so hard to fix, isn't the code or the bank account. It's the trust you've built with your users. Once that's shattered, man, trying to piece it back together is a monumental task.
Okay, so if trust is the precious thing we're protecting, then the data you collect, well, that's your biggest liability. So let's pull back the curtain and see what kind of digital footprint your app is really leaving.
Let's be honest. Modern apps are basically data vacuums. They suck in everything, right? Personal info, location, social media, even financial and health data. And here's the kicker. Every single one of these categories isn't just a cool new feature for your app. Nope, it's another heavy layer of risk and responsibility you're piling on.
Okay, so you've got this mountain of data. Now what? How do you even begin to wrap your head around the risk? Well, you've got to get organized. It's all about connecting the dots, from the data you collect to the bad things that can happen because of it.
And this table, it lays it out perfectly. Risk management isn't some vague, abstract idea. It's super practical. You see a legal risk? Bam, you need a compliance control, like a solid privacy policy. You got a security risk? You need encryption and access controls. It's a direct line. For every problem, there's a specific solution you need to have in place.
But look, having all these strategies on paper is great, but it's kind of useless if nobody's in charge of them, right? That's where governance comes in. It answers the most important question of all. Who owns the risk?
These 5 principles, they're basically the constitution of good data governance. These are your non-negotiables. You need accountability. Someone's name has to be on the line. You have to be transparent. Tell people what you're doing. You need to manage that data's entire life, from the second you get it to the second you delete it. And you absolutely better be watching what your vendors are up to.
All right, now for the really practical stuff. Section 5, your practical defense playbook. These are the actual moves your teams can make to lock things down and get ready for a worst-case scenario.
This playbook is all about building layers of defense. We'll walk through these 6 core strategies, starting with the foundation, like just collecting less data in the first place and then moving into more active stuff like running drills to prepare for an incident.
First up, and honestly, this is the golden rule, data minimization. The safest data is the data you never collected. It's that simple. It can't be stolen from you if you don't have it. So the question every team should ask constantly is, do we really need this? If the answer is even a maybe, the real answer is probably no.
Okay, let's talk about 2 things that go together like peanut butter and jelly: encryption and IAM. Think of it like this. IAM, or Identity and Access Management, is the bouncer at the club door checking IDs. Encryption is the unbreakable safe inside. Even if a bad guy sneaks past the bouncer, they can't get into the safe. You absolutely need both.
The smartest organizations don't just build a fortress and wait for an attack. They're proactive. They are constantly on the offense, trying to break their own systems with things like penetration tests. They're investigating their partners. And they're running drills, basically training for game day, so when it comes, it's just muscle memory.
But here's the thing. You can have the best tech in the world, and it won't matter one bit if your people don't know what to do when things go south. That's why this final piece is so critical. It's about process. When that crisis alarm goes off, who's in charge of what?
A good response looks like a well-oiled machine. You've got your security team in the trenches, stopping the bleeding. You've got legal, making sure you're telling the regulators what they need to know. You've got your comms team managing the stories so panic doesn't set in. And you have leadership at the top steering the ship. If you don't have this mapped out before a crisis, all you're going to have is chaos.
Okay, let's pull it all together. Section 6, the big picture. This is really about a fundamental shift in how you think about risk. It's moving from a mindset of hope to a mindset of respond.
This quote just nails it. A breach isn't just one problem. It's a multi-front war. It's a financial crisis, a legal disaster, a PR nightmare, and yeah, an existential threat, all rolled into one brutal package.
And if you remember one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. So many companies don't actually go under because they got hacked. They go under because their response was a total disaster. The hack is the pop quiz, but how you respond, that's the final exam.
So this is the question I want you to take back to your teams. Is your organization built to respond, or is it just built to hope? Are you actively preparing, practicing, and assigning ownership, or are you just crossing your fingers hoping you're not next? Because how you answer that question, well, that could define the entire future of your company.